Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson in science on the topic adaptation and behavior of animals. So today we are going to learn about animal adaptation and some of the behaviors animals put up as a result of their adaptations. Animal adaptation: anything that helps an organism to survive in its environment is an adaptation. It also refers to the ability of living things to adjust to different conditions within their environments. For example, as human beings, we adapt to a cold environment by wearing clothes that will prevent us from feeling cold. So this is one example of an adaptation. So in order for you to adjust to the different conditions, then those things or the ability of doing that is what we call adaptation. So let's look at adaptations for living organisms or animals. The particular habit of living together is also an adaptation. Ways of navigating on earth, including walking, swimming, climbing, and hopping, is an adaptation. Migration is an adaptation. Camouflage for avoiding predator is an adaptation. And we are going to look at all these as we move forward. So hibernation as well, to avoid unpleasant climates, is an adaptation. Ability to conserve fat and water in the body, overcome harsh environment, is also an adaptation. And trying to appear larger in order to ward off predation. Example, the puffer fish or the balloon fish is also another type of adaptation. So for example, animals adapt to their environment. So with penguins, for example, you realize that they live in the polar regions, in the cold regions, and because of their body and their skin, they can actually live longer in those regions. Monkeys are also adapted to living in forests and trees, and that is arboreal regions where there are a lot of trees. So monkeys are adapted to living in tropical forests and plenty of trees, and this is where they actually survive long in. Some animals, like birds, actually adapt by migrating. So because they do not like a particular type of condition, they actually migrate or leave that particular place to find another region where they can actually survive in. And so migration is another aspect of adaptation. Camouflage: there are some animals that camouflage their environment. So there are so many reasons why they do that. One, it could be because they need to hide from their predators, or they want to catch a prey. So animals can also camouflage, but not all animals, but certain types. For example, the chameleon can camouflage. Also, animals with a certain type of colors or a certain type of color prefer to live in a certain type of region because then they can be able to blend in their environments. For example, you always find a green snake in green grass. Okay, so a green snake will be found in green grass because then it can camouflage to be able to catch its prey. That is the example we are seeing here. Hibernation: so sometimes certain animals also go on hibernation. When we say hibernation, it's a period with which the animal rests. Okay, a period where the animal sleeps. So sleeping during winter, for example, the polar bear, they sleep during winter in order to conserve a lot of energy. So they actually go in a state where they are not active, so that they don't use a lot of energy, they conserve heat and the rest. So that is hibernation as a way of adapting. Some animals have another feature of adaptation by food storage. So because these animals actually travel long distances, they are adapted to store a lot of food and water, like the camel. So the hump of the camel is noted to have water, and then they actually can last longer for months without eating, enlarging the body like the pufferfish. So this way of adaptation is to make sure they ward off predators. For example, if the pufferfish is about to be eaten by a predator, what happens is that it puffs up and then all the spikes come out, and then the predator does not want to eat it anymore, so the predator goes away. So that is a way of adapting to its environment to ensure its survival. We have adaptation in terms of structural adaptation and behavioral adaptation. So in terms of structural adaptation, we are looking at how the animal is built. Okay, for example, whether the animal has a shell, whether it has a fur, whether it has feathers, whether it has hair, etc. And behavioral is what the animal actually do. Okay, so with the structural, there are a lot of types. We have mimicry. So the body part aids in its survival. That is mimicry. Mimicry means that it mimics the environment, or it tries to blend or imitates behavior. So for example, if the animal knows that like the dangerous one acts this way and that particular animal is not dangerous, it's going to act as if it is the dangerous one so that the predator will leave it. Okay, we also have chemical defense, body coverings, and camouflage. So with the behavioral adaptation, it has to do with activities that help an animal survive. Behavioral adaptation can be learned or instinctive. So social behavior, behavior for protection. So social behavior has to do with the animals as a group acting together. So in this picture, you can see that the buffaloes are actually chasing away the lion, because this is a social behavior where when the lion is just one, the buffalo can actually defeat its, because they know that the lion is single. Mimicry. So it allows one animal to look, sound, or act like another animal to fool predators into thinking it is poisonous or dangerous. Example: the milk snake, which is on the left, mimicking the coral snake on the right. So that's a form of mimicry. Chemical defense. So there, this is usually attributed to snakes or frogs, certain poisonous frogs. Okay, so with the snakes, we have the venomous snakes, and they actually spit venom or poison, and this could be targeted to the eye of the predator. So that's their way of defending themselves. No, so it's not to attack but to defend. So when they feel threatened, then they do that. Body coverings and parts. So certain animals are covered with feathers, others hairs, others hard skin, horns, tusks, webbed feet, sharp claws, sharp teeth, wings, flying, and hooves. So you can mention a few animals with these coverings, and it's a way to make sure they survive in their environments. We've looked at camouflage. So animals of a certain color adapt of a certain color adapt to living in a certain environment, because then they are able to survive there. Can you see the chameleon in the environment? Let me show you the chameleon. This is the chameleon. If I didn't show you, you probably not have known that there was a chameleon there. So that is what we call camouflage. They blend in their environment. So in conclusion, adaptation can be either physical or behavioral. Each group of animals have its own general adaptations. These groups are fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Some of these adaptations make it easy to identify which group of animal belongs to. So I hope you understand this topic, and I hope it was fun. Until we meet again, enjoy your week. Bye bye.